I'm going to be showing you how I make my amazing potato soup. It's all about enhancing the flavor of the potato soup with seasonings and flavors that most of us have in our kitchen but neglect to use. So no more settling for bland potato soup because this one is bursting with flavor. And today I'm going to show you how I make it, step by step. Let's get started. So I'm going to start by frying my bacon. I'm going to be using this 5.5 quart pot. And I've got my heat set right on medium. Now this is 6 slices of thick cut bacon, and I've cut it up into small pieces. Now I'm gonna be moving my bacon around until it gets golden and crispy. Just beautiful. See, look at the bacon. It's coming along beautifully. I lowered the temperature a little bit, just a little bit below medium because you don't want it to burn. You wanna give it enough time for it to release its grease into the pot. So my bacon is nice and crispy, as you can see. Now I'm gonna remove it. See, look at that. And I'm gonna put it right on the paper towels right here. Now I'm gonna add my butter right in with the grease. I've got 3 tablespoons of butter right here. So my butter is nice and melted. I'm gonna add my onions. So I've got 1 cup of chopped onions. And I'm gonna add 1 cup of green chopped onions. Now, if you're familiar with my cooking, then you know that I like to mix in green onions along with my regular onions because I like the flavor and I also like the color combination. So I'm gonna move my onions around for about 30 seconds just so they can release their flavor into the bacon and butter. Now I'm gonna add my garlic. I have 2 large garlic cloves and they're finely minced. Now I'm only gonna give the garlic about 30 seconds because you don't want it to get burned, see? Just move it around like this. Let all those flavors come in together. We're building it up step by step. Now I'm gonna add my flour. I have 1/3 cup of all-purpose flour because I wanna make a nice, kind of somewhat like a roux, considering that I already have my onions and everything in here. See? Now, the whole idea to add the flour is because it's a thickening agent. But at the same time, as you move it around like this, you're toasting the flour, and that's where the beautiful nutty flavor is coming out. Now, you don't want to just add the flour in here and quickly start adding everything else because you're not giving the flour enough time for it to get toasty. So my flour has gotten nice and golden. Look at the bottom, see? Just perfect. Now it's time to add my chicken broth. I'm gonna put my sieve right there and I'm gonna pour my chicken broth. I'm gonna put in about 3 cups of chicken broth. See? Now if I need to add a little bit more later, I will. Now I'm gonna add my milk. I've got 2 cups of milk right here. This is whole milk. Now I'm gonna add 2 bay leaves. That's gonna add delicious flavor in here. And I have 1 1/4 teaspoon of poultry seasoning. Now the reason I'm using poultry seasoning is because it's made out of nutmeg, marjoram, thyme, it's got sage, and it's got rosemary, all in one. Now I'm gonna add 1 1/2 teaspoon of onion powder. Now I'm gonna add 1 teaspoon of garlic powder. Now I'm adding the onion powder and the garlic powder in here because they are very intense. Now you could be simmering this for a long time and the flavor is still gonna be in here really good. So I like to combine the fresh stuff with the powdered form. Now I'm gonna add some pepper. And I'm gonna add some salt. Now I didn't have any salt in my chicken broth, so I can add some of this right here. But you want to taste it a little bit at a time. It's better to add a little bit at a time than to add too much because then you can't take it out. And I'm gonna add a little bit of cayenne pepper. I've got a little less than 1/8 of a teaspoon. You want to mix it in here really good like this. And it smells beautiful in here. Now, as I'm going around like this, I can feel that the fond has released itself from the bottom. And now it's all mixed in with the rest of the ingredients. I have 2 pounds of gold potatoes, and I have cut them up into small cubes like this. Now, I don't like to put in real big pieces of potato because then I don't think it looks real pretty in the bowl. So I like to cut them up into small cubes. but you can cut them up any way you want. Now I'm gonna add a can of cream corn. It's 14.75 ounces. Now, you think that the cream corn is gonna take the flavor away from the potato soup, but it's not. It's just gonna add a delicious flavor to the pot because it's very subtle, but it's gonna be delicious. And I'm gonna wait until it comes up to a low bubble. Now, as you can see, my potato soup has started to boil. So I'm gonna lower the temperature to low because you don't want it at a rolling boil. Oh, yummy. You're gonna love it. Now, you wanna stir it often because you don't want it to stick. And this would be a good time for you to adjust it and see if it needs a little bit more salt or a little more pepper. Now I'm going to replace my lid and I'm gonna let it cook like that on low, anywhere between 25 and 30 minutes. We wanna make sure that our potatoes are nice and tender, just perfect. So while my potato soup is cooking on the stove, I'm gonna prepare my cheesy bread. Now I've got some leftover baguette bread from yesterday and I'm slicing it up like this, see? Now I've got a plate right here. I'm gonna put some olive oil and I'm gonna brush my bread with it. You wanna get some of this olive oil and just brush it on top. Now I've got this small cookie sheet right here. I'm gonna lay them face down. I just love the olive oil on the bread. You can also spread a little butter if you'd rather do that. And I'm gonna set them all down like that, face down. And I'm gonna brush a little bit more olive oil on top. You want them on both sides, or at least that's the way I like it. Now I'm gonna top it with my cheese. I've got some freshly grated Colby Jack cheese right here, but you can use your favorite. I just love Colby Jack. I'm gonna put a little bit of the cheese on top. Now you wanna use freshly grated cheese because if you use the cheese that comes in the bag, it's real grainy. Now I like to prepare this cheesy bread when I have about 8 to 10 minutes left, and that's about how much time I have. So I've got my oven set at 375. I'm gonna put it right on the center rack until the cheese gets real nice and melted and it gets a little golden all around. So I'll see you in a little bit. So my timer is about to go off. Let's take a look. Oh my goodness, look at this. Just beautiful. Now I'm gonna break up the potatoes a little bit with my immersion blender. But before I do that, I'm gonna remove my bay leaves because they already serve their purpose. Now, if you wanna leave your soup just like this and serve it like this, that's perfectly fine. But I like to break them up just a little bit. So I'm gonna go in 2, 3, 4 times. And that's good, just like that. This soup is ready to serve. Look at this. Yum. I've got some freshly grated Colby Jack cheese. You can use any kind of cheese you like. Here's my crispy bacon. I've got some freshly chopped green onions. And I'm gonna put a dollop of sour cream right on top. The acidity of the sour cream with the potato soup is out of this world. Look at that. Yum. Now for the taste test. You want a little bit of everything on your spoon. And here's my cheesy bread. Look at this. Real crispy. Oh my gosh. I can't even begin to tell you just how absolutely heavenly delicious this potato soup is. And then the cheesy bread on the side. Oh my gosh, you just can't beat it. So this is my amazing potato soup. If you like my video, give me a thumbs up, share with your friends, and if you haven't subscribed, please do. Thank you.